Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Call of Duty Ghosts and a walkthrough of one of the new DLC maps that we got with the Nemesis DLC. This map is Dynasty, and this map is actually quoted by Infinity Ward's own Mark Rubin as being one of the best looking maps that they've ever made. Well, Mr. Mark Rubin, I say to you, you should probably check yourself into some kind of mental health facility, because this map's actually kind of dark and dreary, just like most of the Infinity Ward maps. But regardless, here we are on the map Dynasty, which is set in a lakeside Chinese village. And the lake, from the trailer, the lake was what I really liked the most about the map. I just looked at the lake and it's like, oh, well, this looks really, really cool looking. And it does. I guess the lake looks pretty good. I wish I could say the best. I wish I could say the same for the rest of the map. If you look at the rest of the map, it's really not as beautiful. And you actually look at the map, it has what I like to call Infinity Ward syndrome, where it is very clustered. This map's actually pretty difficult to break down, so what we're going to be doing is basically walking along all of the streets, because there are tons of streets, tons of ins, tons of outs on this map, and it can definitely make the map a bit confusing for people that are kind of new to it, as I am new to it, because I do all of these videos. It's kind of like a live first impressions, first walkthrough of all the maps. This is what I do every time a new DLC comes out. So I really don't know much about the map. Of course, I haven't yet even played it in multiplayer at the time of this walkthrough going up. So I really have no idea where I'm going, what's going on with it. And you just kind of look at the mini-map, and it's like, it's so big. And there's so many things, like there's stairs and levels. You know what this map reminds me of, honestly? Because I have done ran through it in a private match by myself, just kind of look at it so I wasn't 110% lost when I was doing the walkthrough here for the video. It reminds me a lot of Modern Warfare 3's Piazza. Who remembers Piazza? Which I think is how you pronounce that map. Where it is just a giant cluster of different places to go. I mean, this is one of my favorite parts about the map, by the way. I like this. I like this thingy. It looks pretty cool, right? I don't even understand how it works like that. I don't understand how at first I was like, oh, is that supposed to look like that because there's water going down it? And then I looked at it from a different angle. Like, nope, that's a spinning ball. But even though it's not even really quite a ball, if you guys actually look at that. This is Xbox 360 graphics we're looking at right here. That's not even a circle. That's actually, I guess there's a lot of sides to that, but there's definite edges to that. Which is kind of funny. But regardless, that's Xbox 360 graphics for you. But it reminds me a lot of the map Piazza from Modern Warfare 3, which involves lots of buildings, lots of stairs, like a high ground, a middle ground, a low ground, a medium to middle ground, just tons of different places, tons of different windows, lots of different places for you to go, which really makes the map really confusing and a real cluster. And I can tell you this right now, this is not going to be what they call a quote-unquote fan favorite, because it's laid out this way. Maps that are laid out this way do not do well. Maps that are laid out this way do not become fan favorites. They get vote skipped. You know, the maps that people like the most, you think of Nuketown, you think of Shipment, you think of Firing Range, you think of Summit, you think of Dome from World of War, you think of Dome from Modern Warfare 3, or you think of Hard Hat from Modern Warfare 3, or you think of any of the good maps that you, maybe not necessarily ones that you think are like necessarily the greatest map, but you just think of maps in general that you think the community as a whole kind of likes, regardless of whether or not you actually like it. It's all the simple maps. And this map is not, by any stretch of the imagination, simple if you just check it out and you realize how many different places there are for you to go and how many different areas you can actually be in. It is how close and tight everything is. I was worried about this map just from watching the trailer, and after watching the trailer, I usually do like my rankings. Like, okay, I'm gonna say that my favorite maps are in this order. Yeah, I'm betting I'm gonna like this map the most, about like this map the least. You know, and I said Dynasty was probably my least favorite map, and I like the theme of it. I like the way it looked. You know, kind of like from the trailer. But as you actually playing it now, you're like, oh, the trailer made this look a lot cooler than it is. It's actually just a really dark, hazy, clustery, never know where I'm going kind of a map, right? That's really the problem I have with it. And you can kind of tell that it was going to happen from the trailer, because during the trailer they said the entire time, like, oh, it's got plenty of choke points and lots of fast-paced action. And usually when they say stuff like that, they usually mean that every single place you're going to be going, kind of like this street here, is probably 8 feet wide, and you're just going to be bumping elbows with your teammates, and you're going to be bumping elbows with the enemy a lot of the time, assuming, of course, you can navigate your way towards the enemy. Because, you know, let's say the enemy team were like, I don't know, at the very top of the map, I'd be like, okay, how do I get to the top of the map? Do I go down here? Can I go that way? I'm not sure if I go that way. Let's go back upstairs. Which way is the fastest way to get there? I don't know, because I've only played this map 5 times. I'm still yet to understand it. Let's go up this way. I cross over this thing. Go around the tree. I can't go around the tree. Alright, so now I'm up at the top of the map. It's kind of a confusing layout that they have for the map, and for that reason, I'm not really a big fan of it. Although, during all of my ramblings, I feel as though I have actually showed you a lot. Maybe a lot, if not all, there really is to see on this map. I keep periodically checking the mini-map to see if there's a section of the map that I may have possibly missed. I feel as though I've honestly gotten everything, but I'm glad I was able to do the little rambling section, because otherwise it would be like, okay, look at this street, and look at this street, and oh, here we are on another street, and here's a street, and that's really what this map is. It's a bunch of streets and congestion and little areas like this where you can use to climb up stuff, apparently, but regardless of that, I feel as though we've seen almost everything there really is to see on the map. Have I really explored the central building? Because one of the things I really want to get across is the central building, which is the building I'm in here. You can't go upstairs because all the stairs are just covered in debris for some reason, but this building does have a bunch of windows. And this doorway, which kind of makes the window, which kind of, it sounds weird, but it kind of nerfs the windows. Like, if this building had, like, one entrance, that one entrance was, like, back there, then someone that's up here in these windows could really take out a lot of people without people really be able to stop them, because there's no easy way into the window, except, of course, if the windows have these, which does make it easy to get in, but, yeah, this makes it so it's easier for, people to come in and shoot people that are trying to camp in this building. But this building, quite literally, has shots on, like, literally every different portion of the map. So I can see this being as a kind of building that's kind of fought for. And if you're ever kind of, wondering where people are at, kind of wondering where the kills can be, then you can come into this building. Even then, the central building, which can be a fast way, I suppose, to enter and exit different areas of the map, because it is kind of a bigger map. I can definitely say that this map is going to be kind of clustery. I think it's going to be a kind of clustered kind of a map. And that if you're ever kind of looking for kills, you're ever kind of wondering where people are at, you can probably head back in there towards the middle building. It could possibly help you out that way. And if you don't find anyone in there, at least it'll quickly take you to a different portion of the map that might have people in it. And yeah, so other than that, definitely my least favorite map of the DLC so far. I mean, just looking at it, it's like, oh, goodness gracious. Oh, here's an extra building with more windows people that go in and out of. I bet you there's a way into it from here, because every single window has to have an extra entrance into it. Infinity Ward, Infinity Ward, Infinity Ward. I just wish we got some really cool maps, for the final DLC. They completely ruined Shipment. They give us this map. Goldmine seems like a pretty cool concept. Sub-Zero looks kind of cool. It's actually got a pretty simple layout. That actually looks pretty neat. But regardless, those are your maps. I've done walkthroughs of all of the maps for the DLC. I'm going to be playing the DLC a bit more before I do any kind of a review or anything like that of these maps. Of course, I do these walkthroughs before actually playing the multiplayer. Then I play the multiplayer for a while, and then I do kind of like a review of the DLC as to whether or not, the maps play well. I play them in a bunch of different game modes, and I try them out, and I put several hours into the DLC. And then we try that out, and then we see exactly, what we think of the DLC and whether or not it's probably worth your guys' money. And this is especially prevalent to you guys that are playing on the PlayStation 3 as well as a PC that don't actually have this out yet, don't have the possibility of buying this. Then, once all the hype has died down by next month, by the time you guys actually get the DLC, you guys can see my review. You guys can see whether or not I feel as though it's actually, kind of necessary for you to buy the DLC, or whether or not you actually get your money's worth for it. And that's the whole point of doing the reviews and doing these walkthroughs of the new DLC maps. This is actually the final DLC pack for Call of Duty Ghost. Where has the time gone? Seems just like yesterday I got Call of Duty Ghost early, and I was making videos talking about how bad it is that they took away the UAV. Just seems like yesterday, but that was in fact several months ago. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.